A big email list feels like proof of something, maybe momentum or reach or years of work finally paying off. But what if the number you've been proud of is actually costing you money, hurting your deliverability, and giving you a completely false picture of how many people actually want to hear from you? Today, I'm talking about what's really inside most email lists and what it costs to ignore it. I'm Laryssa, and for a decade with my agency, Joy Joya, I've been helping women-focused, product-based e-commerce brands grow with more intention, creativity, and clarity. We ditch the marketing formulas that don't feel like you and build strategies that actually connect. I want to tell you about a brand I started working with recently. They're a skincare brand with clean formulations, really beautiful branding, the kind of product that photographs really nicely and has built a genuinely loyal following over the years. They've been around long enough to have real momentum, that growing wholesale presence, a steady direct-to-consumer business, and the founder is deeply invested in every part of how the brand shows up. They had an email list of about 45,000 subscribers. On paper, sounds great. That is not a small list. That is years of work to build up a list of 45,000. Pop-up forms, giveaways, collaborations, events, all of it over the years accumulated into this number that sat at the top of their Klaviyo dashboard like a badge of honor. But when we actually got into the account, it became clear pretty quickly that the number wasn't telling the whole story. A big email list feels like an asset, and it can be, but a list full of the wrong people is not an asset. It's more like overhead. The number in your Klaviyo dashboard is not the same as your addressable or viable audience. And the gap between those things is often a lot bigger and a lot more expensive than they realize. That surprises a lot of people because it's not like building and maintaining an email list was ever a deliberately bad decision that you made. Lists get polluted slowly over time through totally normal list building activity. And without regular maintenance, all the garbage just accumulates over the months and over the years. So what does that garbage actually look like? What should you be looking out for in your Klaviyo account? There are a few things I see constantly clogging up email lists: bots and spam traps, addresses that were never real people to begin with. Then there's role accounts, which are things like info at or hello at or support at. Those are inboxes that belong to a business function, not a human being who would ever buy something. Then there are subscribers who haven't opened, haven't clicked, or haven't visited the site in years. Subscribers who signed up and they never took any action at all. And just old contacts that accumulate over time and were simply never cleaned out. None of these people are buying from you, but they're all on your list. For my client, it was a combination of all of these things. Some of that accumulation had come from a period a few years back when they'd run a few giveaways and collaborations that drove a lot of signups quickly. And that felt great at the time, and the list did grow really fast, but giveaway traffic is notoriously low intent. A lot of those people wanted the prize, but maybe not actually the skincare when they had to pay for it. Some of it is just age. When you're building a list for years without ever really pruning it, then addresses that hadn't engaged in 2, 3, sometimes 4 years, they're still sitting there and they're counted in that 45,000. Some of this stuff is just really less obvious unless you spend time digging into who those 45,000 people are: role accounts, addresses that bounced but were never suppressed, contacts that had every signal of being a bot, not being human. It's all just what happens when a list grows without a maintenance plan. But the list sitting unmaintained, isn't even the worst of it. A bloated list doesn't just sit innocently, it's actively working against you. When you're sending to addresses that don't engage, or worse, that flag your emails as spam, inbox providers like Gmail start making judgments about your sender reputation. And those judgments don't just affect the bad email addresses. They affect whether your emails reach the real people on your list too. So a dirty list is not a neutral problem. It's a tax on everything else you're doing with your email strategy. But before I get into what that tax entails, a quick break to tell you about JoyJoya. We partner with women-focused e-commerce brands to turn their email and SMS channels into true growth engines. Our clients typically see a 30 to 40% lift in revenue within the first 90 days. Visit joyjoya.com to see what we can do for you. So when first taking over this client's account, what immediately stood out as a red flag was that this brand, my client, had been noticing their open rates declining pretty steadily over the past year or so. They'd attributed it to a lot of things. Maybe the content of the emails wasn't landing as well. Maybe subscribers were just busy. Or maybe it was the economy or general email fatigue overall. All of these things can potentially be true. But what was also true and more likely was that they were consistently mailing to a large chunk of email addresses that had no business being on the list. And that was dragging down the sender reputation in ways that affected everyone, including the people who genuinely wanted to hear from them. And then there was the other thing. The thing that really landed for them when I showed them the numbers in their Klaviyo account. This one always stings. Klaviyo charges based on how many active profiles you have in your account. So if your list is bloated with bots, role accounts, and people who haven't engaged in like 3 years, you are literally paying money every single month to store contacts that will never look at an email from you, let alone buy from you. I've seen brands drop an entire pricing tier, sometimes multiple pricing tiers, just from a proper list clean. That's real money that businesses are spending, flushing down the toilet for no reason. This particular brand was on a Klaviyo plan that was sized right for 45,000 active profiles. After we did a proper audit, suppressed the unengaged, removed the role accounts, cleared out all the spam traps and the hard bounces, stick with me here. The real, viable, engaged audience was closer to 9,000. I'm not rounding here. I know it's kind of shocking to go from 45 to 9,000. That's obviously a completely different tier of Klaviyo pricing, but that translates not just in potentially having a stronger list and better performance, but cost savings every single month that had been just leaving the business every time the credit card was charged by Klaviyo because nobody had stopped to look in years. And that's usually the moment that this conversation shifts and starts to make sense to the client. The hardest part of this process is usually the ego piece, and I get it. A founder has spent years building their list to 45,000 or however many subscribers. That number felt like proof of something, that they were growing, that they had momentum. And then you show them that their real engaged, viable audience is just a small fraction of that. That's gonna sting. But I always say a smaller number you can actually market to is worth infinitely more than a big number that's costing you money and hurting your deliverability in the meantime. And here's a reframe I want to offer you because I think it actually changes how you feel about this cleanup process. 9,000 engaged subscribers is not like a failure or something. That means those are real people who have opened emails, have visited the site, have shown actual human signs of real interest. Marketing to them is a completely different beast or experience than marketing to a bloated list where most of the addresses are dead weight. And I've seen with my own eyes in Klaviyo accounts getting better performance from an engaged list of 9,000 than a rotten list of 45,000. I have seen better numbers with that smaller list. So list size doesn't matter as much as people think it does when you're talking about performance and efficiency. For the cleanup, this brand's open rates improved meaningfully. The emails, okay, they got better because now we had a more aligned strategy, but there was nothing magical that we were sprinkling over the email content. It's just that they were being evaluated differently by inbox providers against a list of people who are actually now engaging. So their sender reputation, which had really been starting to get compromised over time, had room to recover. And the campaigns they sent started reaching more of the right people instead of being diluted by all the noise. Let me be clear that this client scenario I shared is definitely not a rare situation. I see versions of this constantly across skincare brands, jewelry brands, apparel brands, wellness brand. Really, any brand that's been building a list for more than a couple of years without a regular maintenance practice is likely carrying some version of this problem. I would be surprised if you are not. The scale of this varies. Sometimes it's dramatic, like the brand I described. Sometimes it's more contained, but the pattern is always the same. The number in the dashboard doesn't necessarily match the real audience. So, how to start thinking about whether this applies to you? First, look at your engagement rates and be honest about it. If your open rates have been declining over time and you've been blaming content or frequency or inbox competition, those things may be contributing. But a bloated list is often underneath all of that. Second, look at what you're actually paying for. Pull up your Klaviyo plan. Look at how many active profiles you're being billed for. Then look at how many of those profiles have engaged, opened, clicked, visited the site in the last 90 days, the last 180 days. The gap between all those numbers is costing you money every month. And third, think about when you last actually cleaned your list. Not unsubscribed people, but suppressed the truly dead weight. So remove those hard bounces, cleared out contacts with no engagement history. If the answer to that question is never or not recently, that's where to start. The goal isn't a smaller list just for the sake of having a smaller list. The goal is a list that reflects your real audience, the people who actually want to hear from you, who are likely to engage, and who have some potential to buy. That list is worth investing in. The other stuff is just noise that you're literally paying every month to carry. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, like and subscribe for more tips. And if you're serious about scaling your e-commerce brand through email and SMS, head to joyjoya.com to learn more.